Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 30th of March 2023 and looks like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are definitely ending on a positive note on the first quarter of 2023. Bitcoin in particular is definitely pumping up to the moon along with Ethereum and XRP as well. Now really I'm not sure if the second quarter is going to have a similar trend as well, but definitely a very positive outlook. Now in today's episode guys, we are going to be talking about artificial intelligence development. And looks like some top companies in US are aggressively going after artificial intelligence, and this is primarily because of the hype of ChatGPT and what they're focusing on to have a pause on AI development. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that. And what I'll try to do is I'll try to go ahead and explain how this cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols that merges with artificial intelligence and the hype of ChatGPT, what kind of an impact it'll have both in a positive and in a negative way. Now in today's episode guys, we have 3 news about OKX, and one news is about FTX and Alameda Research and some drama going on, and the second news is that they're opening an office in Australia, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore that, and the third news is about a partnership, so it looks like OKX is definitely having a phenomenal year in 2023. Now listen guys, because a lot of the tech companies and tech giants are requesting for a pause in artificial intelligence development, what I decided to do is I decided to ask my niece to write something about hyper-Bitcoinization and UAE's role in central bank digital currency. A few days ago in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did talk about an official news that was released by UAE Central Bank where they are planning to work on central bank digital currencies. So what I essentially wanted to do is I wanted my 15-year-old niece who has no information about hyper-Bitcoinization and definitely has no information about central bank digital currency. What I wanted her to do is I wanted her to utilize the resources, put it onto ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to summarize it. We went a step further and we asked ChatGPT to even write the script for this podcast. So later on in the episode, you'll definitely hear my niece talking about hyper-Bitcoinization and central bank digital currencies. Now let me know guys what your thoughts are. Is it a good idea to temporarily pause the development of artificial intelligence? And look guys, top CEOs such as Elon Musk, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, and over 1,300 people have definitely petitioned for it. Now you need to understand that the guys who petitioned for it are already working in the artificial intelligence space, so pretty much sure they have more information and more knowledge on the positives and the negatives of artificial intelligence. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that in today's episode. Now guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, we're going to be discussing 2 news as well. But one of the news is all the way from Saudi Arabia, and the news is that IR4 Lab, they have successfully completed a pilot project to track donations using blockchain, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore that. And the second news is about the article that I just mentioned earlier, the thoughts of a 15-year-old in hyper-Bitcoinization and UAE's central bank digital currency. So let's kick start with this episode right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and Metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee Date. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee Date, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Space Podcast. So check out the Race Space Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Space Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now since the last 24 hours in particular, the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum are definitely pumping, and XRP is definitely pumping, but I'm looking at the prices right now because in CoinMarketCap, since the last 6 months or so, what they have done is they have added a feature where you can track the prices on an hourly basis. So since the last 24 hours, XRP is definitely pumping, but since the last few hours, it is on a downtrend. Now that thing being said guys, the global cryptocurrency market as of today is at $1.18 trillion. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally down by 0.24%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $50.68 billion, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 6.12%. The total volume in DeFi is definitely looking good. It is at $6.11 billion, and as of today, guys, DeFi is accounting for 12.05% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And one thing which I did touch base upon yesterday is when the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade date kicks in, there's going to be a lot of momentum and a lot of movement, particularly in Lido's dominance. And at that point of time, I wouldn't be surprised if DeFi does actually account for a majority of the chunk of the total cryptocurrency market volume. Now, if you look at the total value locked, it is still below the $50 billion mark, and as of today, it is at $49.76 billion. Lido is still dominating with 21.63%, and $10.76 billion is locked in this protocol, followed by MakerDAO at $7.62 billion, followed by RV at $5.47 billion, Core Finance at number 4 at $4.67 billion, and finally Uniswap at $3.91 billion. Now, guys, to be completely honest, when I was trying to prepare for this podcast, there wasn't any news, particularly new developments in the field of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, so I really am not sure what is going on in the cryptocurrency world. Now, if you look at the volume of stablecoins, it is down to $44.30 billion, and it still accounts for 87.41% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Tether USDT is clearly an outlier, and $34.23 billion were being transacted within the last 24 hours, followed by Circle USDC at $4.76 billion. Now look at the difference, guys. Tether USDT's 24-hour trading volume is $34.23 billion, whereas Circle USDC is almost one-tenth at $4.76 billion, and Binance BUSD is at $3.81 billion. And something, guys, which I did mention about Tether last week is that it could just be the black swan event in the cryptocurrency space. I really am hoping that the government in the US definitely does not go after Bitfinex or Tether USDT. Now let's look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's dominance is $552 million, whereas Ethereum is $222 million. The 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $21 billion, whereas Ethereum is $9.5 billion. If you look at the dominance both for Ethereum and Bitcoin, they have definitely pumped up. Ethereum is at 18.60%, Bitcoin is at 46.60%. Now, if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, a lot of the so-called shitcoins are definitely not doing good, but Bitcoin and Ethereum are definitely pumping up to the moon. Now, in today's episode, guys, I'm also going to be looking at the market cap of smart contracting platform, and for the very first time, I'm also going to be looking at the top 3 Web 3.0 protocols, only keeping in mind its market cap. Now, so far as the smart contracting platform is concerned, Ethereum's market cap is $220 billion, followed by Binance BNB at $50.01 billion and Cardano at $13.04 billion. Now, there's so much of hype surrounding Web 3.0. Chainlink, its market cap is $3.80 billion. Now listen, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is, for fun, make sure you follow the official Chainlink's Facebook group. Trust me, guys, they have, if not one of the best memes, particularly in the world of cryptocurrencies. Now, Filecoin is number 2nd, and its market cap is $2.31 billion, and followed by Stacks at $1.30 billion. Now, the reason why Stacks' market cap is pumped up is only because of NFTs being on Bitcoin blockchain, and as you know, Stacks is a protocol that is trying to have smart contracting platform, NFTs and quite a lot of other on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, if you look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, it is currently at $28,590, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.91%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.34%. So what are your price predictions, guys? By the end of first quarter, that is tomorrow, will the price of Bitcoin touch $30,000 mark? Now, the first quarter is definitely looking good, particularly for Bitcoin and Ethereum is currently at $1,801. Now, could it be possible in the next 24 hours, Ethereum crosses the $2,000 mark and Bitcoin crosses the $30,000 mark? That'll be absolutely great, wouldn't it? Now, since the last 24 hours, so far as Ethereum is concerned, it is down by 0.73%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.36%. Binance Coin is currently at $316. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.58%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 3.06%. And look, guys, since the last quarter of 2022, there was a lot of hype surrounding ChatGPT, and there were different protocols that were developed that focus on artificial intelligence. And as we know, the world of cryptocurrency, they're notoriously known for picking up things that are having a lot of hype and linking them to cryptocurrency. And in February, I did talk about the rise in cryptocurrency protocols that were connected to artificial intelligence. Definitely a lot of hype. But what has happened is that yesterday, the Future of Life Institute, also called as FLI, is calling artificial intelligence labs to temporarily pause training powerful models. And what is really surprising is, guys, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, Twitter, Neuralink, and SpaceX, along with Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak and a host of other artificial intelligence CEOs and chief technology officers and even researchers, are among the signatories of the letter, and they're definitely hoping for a temporary ban on artificial intelligence development. Now, as of today, 30th of March, there are over 1,377 signatures, and I'm pretty much sure more people will be signing this thing. Now, the letter states that artificial intelligence systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Because looks like they have done extensive research, and this is also acknowledged by top artificial intelligence lab. Now, to make it interesting, what I did, and something which I did allude to at the beginning of this podcast, is I asked my 15-year-old niece, who has absolutely no knowledge on hyper-Bitcoinization and central bank digital currency by UAE. So what I really wanted to do is, I wanted to take the most complex topics and utilize OpenAI's ChatGPT, and let's see what she can come up with. So later on in the episode, you'll definitely hear my niece talk about it. So what are your thoughts, guys? Should there be a temporary ban on artificial intelligence? Now look, guys, I'm not a technical expert and I have no hands-on experience working in the artificial intelligence space, so I absolutely cannot say much. But you need to understand that these are guys such as Elon Musk, co-founder of Apple, and quite a lot of tech CEOs. They have hands-on knowledge working in the artificial intelligence space, and if they are requesting for a pause, I'm pretty much sure it might mean something. Now you also need to understand that in 1980s, they also had a ban on using calculators. Now I'm pretty much sure at that point of time, it was the school teachers and professors, particularly math professors, who requested to put a ban. Now imagine if calculators were completely banned. That would also mean that there would be no Microsoft Excel, and that news, guys, will be absolutely catastrophic. So it's going to be really interesting to see if there's going to be a temporary ban, or what do you guys think? Is it just a marketing stunt? Because look, guys, any news is positive news, definitely adds for promotion. Now it could be possible that because they're requesting for a ban or a temporary stoppage in artificial intelligence, it could also work as a marketing tool. I particularly do think so. That could be one of the reasons why they're trying to put a temporary ban on this. But once again, guys, I definitely could be wrong. I really don't see a use case where they will have a temporary ban. So let's say any country which is trying to compete, let's say China, who doesn't want to be part of the American way of living, they would definitely take this as an initiative and they could get a competitive advantage in the AI development field. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Mention them in the comments below. Now, guys, next what I'm going to be talking about some massive news about OKX exchange, and looks like they are having a role in 2023. So I have 3 news to cover regarding OKX exchange. And the first news is linked to FTX and Alameda Research. Now, OKX did actually mention via the website that it identified $157 million in digital assets belonging to FTX and Alameda Research. And what they are doing is they are turning them over to bankruptcy estate for the former companies. Now, if you do want to read through the official link, go to the OKX website. They have all the details. Now, what was really surprising is that CoinDesk did publish an article. They did not provide any sources for it. I tried to research for this information, and to be honest, for more than 20 minutes, I absolutely could not get any information. So what I did was I went to OKX Twitter account, and I had to read through every tweet, because looks like they've been tweeting roughly every minute or so. And finally, I did get the official news, and what it says is that in the days surrounding FTX's collapse, going back to November of 2022, OKX proactively initiated investigations to determine whether there have been any FTX-related transactions on its platform, and when these investigations discovered assets and accounts that were associated with FTX and Alameda Research, OKX immediately took action to freeze the associated accounts and safeguarded the assets. And what they mentioned is that OKX welcomes the motion and will continue to cooperate with FTX debtors and law enforcement officials in the hope that these assets will eventually be returned to FTX users throughout the bankruptcy process. Now that was one news, guys, and the second news, which I believe is a positive news, is that they're opening a new office in Australia, and the announcement was made at an exclusive event for Australia's community at Arts Centre in Melbourne, and this was attended by their global ambassadors, and the ambassadors are Scotty James and Daniel Ricciardo, and they're definitely iconic sports people and Olympic athletes as well, so definitely great to have them as brand ambassadors. Now the next news, guys, is a partnership and by a company called Vault, and Vault did actually announce that they have partnered with OKX, and this partnership, guys, is leveraging each other's Web3 capabilities, and they were glad to announce the first step is the OKX wallet integration, and the hashtag that they're using is VaultChange, and this integration, guys, is claiming to be a significant development for both platforms. allowing for cross-platform compatibility and seamless trading, and OKX Wallet and Vaulty Change have collaborated to provide users with a simple and efficient way of accessing decentralized exchange services. Now, I particularly don't use Vault and I don't use OKX as well. Now, if you're someone who is a customer of OKX Exchange, there is a possibility that now you can get connected to a decentralized exchange as well. And with this partnership, guys, Vault and OKX are working together to push the boundaries of what is possible in the crypto space. And by combining the expertise and resources, they're creating new user opportunities and paving the way for a more connected and accessible decentralized finance or DeFi ecosystem. And this partnership is an exciting development for crypto enthusiasts and traders because it opens up new avenues for investing and trading. Now, what you need to do is there are a couple of steps that you need to follow in order to utilize the benefits of this partnership. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, follow through the guidelines because they have mentioned a series of steps that you need to follow. But once again, this would be more applicable to guys who are using OKX Exchange. So those were the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee at 8. Now let's discuss two news regarding UAE. And the first news is about IR4 Labs. And what I really liked about the naming is that IR4 Labs stands for Industrial Revolution 4 Lab. And the website is ir4lab.com. That is I for India, R for Roger, the number 4, L for Larry, A for Alpha, B for Bravo. And IR4 Lab is a Saudi-based innovation-driven company specializing in disruptive technologies such as blockchain and artificial intelligence. And IR4 Lab, guys, is Saudi Aramco's first blockchain technology investment in Saudi Arabia. And IR4 Lab is committed to increasing in advanced technologies adoption in Saudi Arabia and the world by implementing new business models or improving existing processes, most notably building local capabilities that can contribute greatly to achieve Saudi's 2030 vision. And look, as far as 2030 vision is concerned, Saudi Arabia is heavily investing in Metaverse as well. And IR4 Lab, which is a Saudi-based company specializing in disruptive technologies, has completed a successful pilot project to track donations using blockchain, and the pilot project was completed during the holy month of Ramadan and aimed to track food packages delivered to needy families. Now, IR4 Lab uses blockchain solutions, doc certs, to assign, sign, and verify documents on the blockchain, generating a unique authentic card for each package. A unique ID and QR code were assigned to each package, allowing recipients to scan or enter the ID to verify real-time details of the package delivered and its content from the source. And once the package was scanned or verified, an entry was added to the transaction history, allowing real-time confirmation of receipt, which saved time usually required to report back to donors in similar processes. And guys, the system allows an approval workflow which is particularly helpful in the event of a transaction involving many stakeholders. Look, guys, you need to remember the information when you're talking about blockchain is only as good as the information uploaded in. So in this particular point, when they are mentioning that when they are scanning the information, could it be possible that a fake document is scanned during that time? 100% possible, because when I was reading through the report, it said that once the package was scanned or verified, an entry was added to the transaction history. Now, what can happen is notorious actors, they can simply replace the barcode and put it on a fake product and it will appear as the transaction is valid. Just a thought. Now, the system allows an approval workflow which is particularly helpful in the event of a transaction involving men. Charity initiatives are important to strengthen social fabric, promote local and international cooperation, and improve the daily lives of many communities around the world. However, they are prone to fraud and misuse, which may impact negatively the trust of donors. Now, what they claim in this newscast is a blockchain-based traceability system could play an essential role in mitigating these risks and adding a layer of transparency and trust. Unfortunately, guys, I 100% disagree to it because notorious actors, they tend to think differently. And one thing which I did allude to earlier on, what you can do is you can take the original barcode, put it on top of a fake product, and the fake product might appear to be genuine because what you're doing is you're just scanning the barcode. Hence, when you talk about blockchain technology, it's so critical to understand the information is only as good as the information uploaded in. Now, IR4 Lab plans to collaborate with stakeholders in the region and charity organizations to further expand this pilot project and use technologies to achieve social development goals. Now, IR4 Lab is a Saudi Aramco-based investment and is committed to increasing advanced technology adoption in Saudi Arabia and the world. Now, the big question is, can all these things be done by a centralized system as well, or even by a software? And to be honest, guys, the answer to that is yes. But going back to the news regarding IR4 Lab specializes in blockchain and artificial intelligence, and the company aims to build local capabilities that can contribute greatly to achieving Saudi's 2030 vision. And Majid Jamal Al-Afifi is a co-founder and CEO of IR4 Lab, and Mohammed Al-Kandri is a co-founder and chief technology officer of IR4 Lab, and the successful pilot project is an example of using technologies such as blockchain and social good. Now, IR4 Lab is proud to use its solution to help communities in a meaningful way. And once again, guys, the idea is absolutely brilliant. I really am not sure if blockchain is the way to go, but the company believes that the new technologies could achieve this even more in line with sustainable development goals, not only in the region, but also across the globe. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Mention them in the comments below. So what I'll most likely do is I'll drop the CEO and the Chief Technology Officer an email and let me see if I can get them on my podcast, and I'll try to ask them some challenging but brilliant questions as well. Now, guys, let's discuss the second news. And the second news, what I wanted to do is I wanted to have my 15-year-old niece take the most complex topics, that is hyper-Bitcoinization, central bank digital currency, and I wanted her to use ChatGPT, write a script, and let her have this podcast. Now listen, guys, the reason why I wanted to do this is because I really wanted to highlight the use case and importance of using artificial intelligence, particularly in complex topics, and how using these tools in the right way could make a significant impact, particularly in delivering better content. Now you need to understand that what she's going to read about, the content is 100% by ChatGPT, and even the script is written 100% by ChatGPT. And one of the reasons why I wanted to think about is, let's say 3 to 5 years down the line, let's say if you have a business and if you are hiring an employee, let's say if you have two candidates, one has thorough knowledge and information about hyper-Bitcoinization and central bank digital currency, and the second person who has absolutely no knowledge about hyper-Bitcoinization and no knowledge about central bank digital currency. But if the second person is able to use software such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, GPT-4, and further developments, which employee would you take? I would be inclined to take the second person. So you need to understand that the change in skills, particularly for hiring, is currently taking place. And also a bit of fact, guys, what you're going to listen next, the entire process took less than 3 minutes. That's how long it took in order to find out about hyper-Bitcoinization and UAE's role in central bank digital currency. So check this out.
Hi guys, I am the 15-year-old, and in this episode, we dive deep into the latest developments in the blockchain technology and digital currencies. Today, we'll be discussing hyper-Bitcoinization and the central bank digital currencies, or known as CBDCs. So, let's start with hyper-Bitcoinization. Can you guys imagine a world where Bitcoin is a dominant currency? It might sound crazy, but it's not as far-fetched as you might think. Bitcoin offers a lot of advantages over traditional currencies, such as being borderless and censorship-resistant. This makes it a popular option for those who want to avoid government control or financial censorship. Plus, it's deflationary, which means its value may increase over time, leading to a more equitable and decentralized financial system. But of course, there are some drawbacks of hyper-Bitcoinization too. For example, Bitcoin's price is highly volatile, making it a risky investment and a less stable store of value compared to traditional currencies. Widespread adoption would be needed for hyper-Bitcoinization to occur, which is still not there yet. Moving on to CBDCs, which are digital currencies of a country's fiat currency that is issued and backed by the central bank. The UAE is taking a proactive approach to CBDCs, which has many potential benefits, such as making transactions faster, cheaper, and more efficient. They could also increase financial inclusion and reduce fraud and money laundering. However, there are also some concerns about CBDCs. They could potentially erode privacy by allowing governments to track and monitor financial transactions more easily. Plus, they would require widespread adoption to be successful, and it's unclear whether people would be willing to switch from traditional currencies, So what do you guys think? Do you think hyper-Bitcoinization or CBDCs will become the dominant form of currency in the future, and why? It's up to governments, businesses, and individuals to weigh the pros and cons of each and decide which path to take. Now, let's discuss some of the potential challenges and opportunities hyper-Bitcoinization or CBDCs could bring to the global financial system. Hyper-Bitcoinization could lead to a more equitable and decentralized financial system, but it could also face resistance from governments who see it as a threat to their control over the financial system. CBDCs, on the other hand, could potentially lead to a more efficient and transparent financial system, but they could also be more centralized and erode privacy. In conclusion, guys, both hyper-Bitcoinization and CBDCs offer potential benefits and drawbacks. It's important to carefully consider the implications of each and decide which path to take. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
So guys, what did you think of it? I definitely am completely blown away with ChatGPT, and I do feel employee skills are definitely changing because of developments in artificial intelligence. So those were the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee 88 on Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, mention them in the comments below. Or in case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Amy who asks, will hyper-Bitcoinization be a good thing, particularly when you look at it from the price point of view per Bitcoin? I 100% disagree to it, Amy, because when you talk about hyper-Bitcoinization, the fact is that over 91% of the Bitcoin is already in supply at the moment. Now, I personally am a massive advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but that thing being said, I don't think so hyper-Bitcoinization is a good thing. Now, you need to be very selective to whom you listen to. If you're listening to Bitcoin maximalists, they're definitely going to tell you positive things about hyper-Bitcoinization, and the answer is pretty simple. When you talk about the demand and supply for Bitcoin, the supply is fixed, and over 90% is already in the hands of selected individuals such as Bitcoin maximalists, multimillionaires, billionaires, and people like Michael Saylor. Now, what they want to do is, because the supply is fixed, because there is no central entity involved, they want to create the demand for Bitcoin. In doing that, the existing net worth in Bitcoin will increase. And that's one of the reasons why they are trying to connect points which are not relevant as well. So I was listening to this podcast by Peter McCormack, and one of the guys were actually saying that Bitcoin has a possibility to fix irrelevant human beings or incorrect human beings. Absolutely stupid comment. Now you need to understand, Amy, that Bitcoin was created as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, and by creating Bitcoin, they were hoping that the world be a better place. But unfortunately, game theory, human greed, and this fake supply of Bitcoin does create a lot of problems, and I really am not sure if we'll ever be able to fix the human greed problem. Now, if hyper-Bitcoinization does actually happen, what it would mean is multi-billionaires, celebrity influencers, and early adopters will have majority of the Bitcoin, and over 99% of the people are left with no Bitcoin. So you'll have one chunk of people who will be multi-billionaires, maybe even trillionaires, and this just whole defeats the whole purpose of creating Bitcoin in the first place. Why was Bitcoin created? So the big question is, Amy, do you trust the current government or do you trust notorious billionaires? I personally wouldn't trust either, but if hyper-Bitcoinization would actually happen, it would actually mean a lot of money is among selected individuals, and they're definitely hedging and betting for that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do want the banking industry to collapse, and they're not bothered of millions, if not billions of people who would be affected in an absolutely catastrophic way. But hyper-Bitcoinization is definitely not ideal. It would be ideal, let's say, if the supply of Bitcoin is increased and everyone has an equal opportunity now. Now, granted, you can say that there was equal opportunity in Bitcoin in 2009 and 10, but unfortunately, not many people were actually aware about Bitcoin. So those are my thoughts, Amy, regarding hyper-Bitcoinization. So that's all for today, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.